Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Keyblade Master and welcome to my channel. Now a few months ago I responded to one of Matpat's new film theory videos where he basically stated that it's impossible to make a good video game movie. Now what he was stating is true. If you try to build a movie based off a video game's narrative, you're going to fail. It's been proven time and time again that movies that do that just don't work. But I hypothesize that if you made a movie around gaming culture or a group of games, not necessarily about their narrative, but about the games themselves, and then tie in an original story around them, you could actually make a good video game movie that explores the cultures and the people who played those types of games. And I said, look at Tron, look at Wreck-It Ralph. They do that and they are really great movies. And then I also stated I was kind of looking forward to Pixels because it might be a really great movie that tests my theory, or it might be complete crap because it has Adam Sandler in it. Well, after watching Pixels, the good news is it does prove my theory. Unfortunately, it also proves the fact that when Adam Sandler's in a movie, it's like playing Russian roulette. It's either going to be really good, or more often than not, it's going to be complete crap. And that second part, where you have to create your own narrative, Pixels turns out to be complete crap. Alright, the main story of this movie is that basically, in the 1980s, we sent some arcade games up into space to try to reach out to alien life forms. Some aliens got a hold of these games. They thought it was a declaration of war. They turned these games into war machines and are now challenging Earth to the first person to win 3 battles gets to claim each other's planet. Since Kevin James, who is now president and was once a gamer to Adam Sandler, who as kids were major arcade gamers, since he ignored the first 2 times, the aliens are now ahead 2-3, and he needs a bunch of people who are good at arcade games, which Adam Sandler, who as a kid could memorize the patterns of these old arcade games really good and beat the high score, decides to enlist him and his friend, who is played by Josh Gad, for help. Now, on the good side, it is these video game battles that make this movie really work. When the movie is good, it's during these battle scenes. The battle with Pac-Man is probably one of the more creative scenes I've seen in a movie about video games. I really enjoyed that battle and the way they tried to trick and pin in Pac-Man, and the way that Adam Sandler, who gets stuck by himself to beat the last Pac-Man, wins the game is very amusing, because in this game, with their battle against Pac-Man, they play the ghost, and the way he does it is that he has Pac-Man eat a power pellet, and then he has Pac-Man chase him until that power pellet is almost gone, and then he has Pac-Man eat him right as the power pellet runs out and beats Pac-Man that way. And that is such a clever scene, because who hasn't had that happen to him in Pac-Man, where you're chasing that last ghost to try to get that high score of 1,600 points and have that ghost turn back to normal right as you eat him and you lose a life. Anybody who's played Pac-Man can sympathize with that scene and understand it and even laugh at it just a little bit. So these video game battles I thought were unique, creative, and kind of fun to watch. And the way they have the games and the way they do battle is very reminiscent of their arcade games. So during these battles, I was having fun. Unfortunately, the video games and the video game battles are only a third of the movie. The remaining 2/3 we have to put up with Kevin James, who's okay as being the president of the United States, but he doesn't do anything funny. Adam Sandler, who occasionally has 1 or 2 good jokes, but for the most part is ground-worthy. And let me get into Josh Gad in a moment, because anyways, like I said, Kevin James is not funny, and then Adam Sandler is just doing Adam Sandler shtick. The shtick got old 15 years ago, and it hasn't improved since. He's the geek, he's the dweeb, he says mean things, he's not funny. But I'd take Sandler any day over the Gad character, who's supposed to be and it's not really fleshed out all that well, but he's supposed to be the conspiracy theorist of the group. But again, it's not really fleshed out, or are there any homages to his conspiracy theories all that often. He's just the weirdo of the group. And none of his weirdness is funny or memorable or unique. It's just disgusting. It was to the point after a few scenes I was like, do you want to kill a snowman? I'd really like to kill a snowman. Because I was really fed up with this character. It almost ruined the movie for me. Like I said, it's kind of disgusting, and none of the other humor really worked for me as well. Like I said, a few good jokes, like a dancing centipede who dances to aerobic workouts, and we have a good Hubert that's kind of humorous, but most of the other jokes don't work. And just to show you how off-putting, how much the humor does not work in this movie, we go back to the beginning of that Pac-Man fight. Yes, that fight is unique, it's brilliant, but it starts off completely on the wrong tone and on the wrong foot. Okay, the idea is they have to kill Pac-Man because they're the ghosts this time, and they're ghosts that are driving special cars. We have the three main characters who are the gaming geeks, and then we're supposed to have this Japanese professor who helped create Pac-Man. Well, he goes all, he's my boy, he wouldn't do anything mean, and tries to touch the Pac-Man recreation that the aliens made. And the aliens, Pac-Man bites his hands off. Now, the scene's not gory. It breaks off into pixels and there's no blood. But still, it's kind of a disturbing scene, and he runs back, kill that son of a... And we hear some of the Pac-Man intermission, which is this happy do-do-do-do-do-do-do gameplay music in the back, and none of that scene works. It's disturbing. It's not funny. It's tasteless. And, like I said, it's a good thing the rest of that scene works, or else the whole movie would have just fallen into complete crap territory. And by the end of the movie, don't get me wrong, it's in complete crap territory. So my thoughts on Pixels is, it proves that video games can work as a movie done right. Unfortunately, while they do the video game parts well, you still have to weave in the rest of the narrative and be good. And neither Kevin James' part's funny, but at least he's not gross. Adam Sandler is just Adam Sandler, which is boring. And then, like I said, Josh Gad's character, ugh. So like I said, the movie just does not work. I give it a 2 out of 5. If you're a gamer, you might want to watch this, but wait for it to either come out on Netflix or hit the $5 or below bin on DVD. It's not really worth going to a theater to see, which is unfortunate. Like I said, it proves my point. You can make a good video game movie. You can make them good narratively if you make them about the games and not the narrative behind the games. But as a movie, it's a flop.